And what up, Jets fans, from New York and New Jersey down to where I am in Virginia, out to California, and all points in between. Welcome. This is your preview video, the New York Jets against the Detroit Lions. These two teams, maybe two of the biggest surprises in the NFL this season, both fighting for playoff position. And the game's going to be at MetLife Stadium, thank God. And it's going to be 1 o'clock this Sunday. The latest weather report I've seen, high 30s and sunny. And I'll tell you right now, if this game was in Detroit, I would be really worried about it. But as it stands, I think this is going to be a very competitive game. Let's start breaking down these matchups. So first of all, when the Jets have the football, we're going to talk about Jets offense against the Lions defense. You know, the side of this game that I don't think is getting as much attention. So I want to start here. So the Lions defensive coordinator is former Jets standout cornerback Aaron Glenn, who had been rumored for some head coach positions earlier this offseason. Didn't quite work out for him. He goes to Detroit. Now, the Lions defense is giving up 403 yards per game and 26.7 points per game, both second worst in the league, but they have been getting better as of late. Their run defense in particular has really been solidifying, if that's a word. It is now. They held Dalvin Cook last week to under 20 yards rushing, so they're starting to really find their groove at this point. Now, some of the players to watch. Aidanhutchinson is definitely the standout player, the rookie defensive end from Michigan. Number 97, he has 7 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 2 interceptions. And I'll tell you, going against the Jets, I think this game is going to mean something extra to Mr. Hutchinson because Sauce Gardner is the odds-on favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think Hutchinson's going to try to show out a little bit extra in this game because I think he's going to want to put his name right back on that level with Sauce Gardner. So it's on the Jets' offensive line to contain number 97. Also at defensive tackle, IsaiahBuggs, number 93. Very good game last week. Forced a Dalvin Cook fumble, had a sack, 3 quarterback hits. Watch for IsaiahBuggs, 93. At linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez, number 44, 7 tackles for a loss. But I want to spend a second here on the Lions secondary. So Kirby Joseph, number 31, I liked him coming out of college. He's got 3 interceptions. Jeffokudah, he's kind of a polarizing player. Number 1, the lesser number 1 cornerback that's going to be on the field in this game. He's probably going to cover Garrett Wilson. He's definitely their best cornerback, but he's been a little bit injury prone. He's missed a decent portion of the season with a lower body injury. He barely played last week due to an illness, and when he didn't play, the Vikings offense was much, much better as far as the passing game goes when Okudah wasn't there to cover Justin Jefferson. So I would expect Okudah to try to cover Garrett Wilson, but, and here's one of the key stats, the Lions are allowing 94 yards per game to number 1 wide receivers. That's the most in the league. If Okudah struggles or if he's limited in any way, it's going to open it up that much more for Elijah Moore. I think even Denzel Mims, because Corey Davis is not going to play in this game due to a concussion. I really wish Davis was on the field, especially with Zach Wilson playing quarterback instead of Mike White. But instead, Mims is going to have to take a step up, and I think Elijah Moore, he's been getting fed the ball quite a bit with Mike White as the signal caller. Are we going to see the same thing with Zach Wilson, or is Elijah Moore going to go back into the witness protection program? It's going to be fascinating to see where the passes go this Sunday when number 2 steps in a quarterback. I would really feed Bam Knight early and often in this game, and honestly, I felt that way even before the change of quarterback was announced. One thing that I really want to do one thing that I think has not been getting enough attention as of late is the Jets' poor starts. They have scored 10 points in the first quarter over the last 4 games. They have to get off to faster starts, and a lot of that does go to Mike LaFleur. And I've been very supportive of Mike LaFleur. I think for the most part he's done a pretty good job, but that is one thing with the Mike White offense that has not worked out. So even though I want the running game to be the focal point of the offense, I wouldn't mind taking an early shot against this Lions secondary. Whether that's a big play-action bomb attempt to GarrettWilson, to Denzel Mims, it could work out, but I really want to try to establish the run. I don't want Zach Wilson to feel like he has to win the game all by himself. Oh, and let's provide a little bit of protection. The fact that Zach Wilson is in this game, I'm glad he has the escapability that he has, because I don't trust this offensive line to pass block very well. Mike White got abused last week, as we all know, and with Aidan Hutchinson coming into town, you cannot let him ruin this game. I think Zach can succeed against this defensive line, but the offensive line has to take a step up from where they were last week, because to me, their performance against Buffalo was completely unacceptable. So those are my thoughts on the Jets' offense against the Lions' defense. Now let's flip the script when the Lions' offense has the ball against the Jets' defense. Lions' offense has been fantastic, averaging 376 yards per game. That's fourth best in the NFL. 26.8 points per game. That's fifth best in the NFL. But over the last 5 weeks, they're averaging 32.2 points per game. That is second best, only behind the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a good offense. Now, let's talk about Jared Goff, their quarterback. He's completing 65% of his passes this year, but here's the caveat. When he's under pressure, he's completing only 43% of his passes. That's 26th in the NFL. That is why, I was going to save this for later, but I got to bring it up now. If Quinnenwilliams does play, and I don't think he's going to play very much even if he does, but it is on Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff, John Franklin Myers, Sheldon Rankins, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens will be back. These guys have got to pressure Jared Goff if the Jets are going to have a chance to win this game. Okay? Goff has been a very efficient quarterback, far more efficient than I think a lot of people realize. He has 22 touchdowns to just 7 interceptions, sacked only 19 times, and in the last 5 weeks, he's thrown 8 touchdowns and no interceptions while completing 69% of his passes. Goff is streaking, and the Lions' record over the last 6 weeks reflects it. They've only lost 1 time in, I believe, the last 7 weeks. Now, with the running game, Jamal Williams has a league-high 14 touchdowns, but he also has 3 fumbles. 204 carries, 806 yards, basically 4 yards per carry. He's really their red zone running back. You're not going to see him as much between the 20s. That's going to be left to DeAndre Swift, number 32. Now, Swift has had a weird kind of a season. He missed a good portion of the season, but he's only had 100 yards total 1 time this season. And for somebody who has as much potential talent, you haven't really seen the results yet. 70 carries, 375 yards, only 4 touchdowns. So with his speed, even though he hasn't been used as much this year, I really think that the Lions are going to try to use him a decent amount. Although you could say that they might use Williams quite a bit to try to pound it up the middle if Quinnenwilliams can't go. I think the presence of Quinnenwilliams will really affect what the Lions try to do on offense. Now, their wide receivers, they are legit, okay? These guys are no joke. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, number 14. 82 catches on 109 targets in 12 games. That is ridiculous. He's catching about 80% of the balls thrown his way. 898 yards, 6 touchdowns. He likes to operate out of the slot a lot. So I'll tell you what, Michael Carter II, that is a player who needs to have a big game. Number 30, MC2, I'm counting on you. All right. DJ Chark, free agent signing, came over from Jacksonville, number 4, 20 catches in 7 games, out for a good portion of the season with an injury, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns. But Jameson Williams, the hotshot rookie wide receiver from Alabama, is slowly working his way into the lineup, and he is starting to make an impact coming off that ACL tear. Last week, he only had 1 catch. What happened on that 1 catch? Well, it went for a 41-yard touchdown, and he ran at a top speed of 20.3 miles per hour. That's right. I'm breaking down miles per hour for you because it was the fastest a wide receiver ran in the league. Okay, he got completely wide open. I don't expect Williams to play a majority of the snaps, but when he does, he is going to be an absolute target for this Jets defense. I'm glad the Jets are as good at cornerback as they are, because if you're not good at cornerback, you're not beating the Lions, or you are going to really struggle to keep them under 30 points. Now, the playmakers are the ones who get a lot of attention for Detroit, but you have to talk about this offensive line. Okay, their offensive line has allowed just 19 sacks this season. That's the third fewest in the league. Okay, Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, absolute stalwarts at their respective tackle spots. Inside, you've got Jonah Jackson at guard. You've got Frank Ragnow at center. Really, really good. That is why I keep coming back to the presence of Quinnenwilliams being so important. The Jets, as good as they are on the defensive line, this may be their biggest test all season as far as facing an offensive line. If they can get to Goff, okay, if they can do that, it is going to make all the difference in the world. This Jets defense, one of the things that's bothered me, they have one turnover in the last month, and that was a garbage time interception by C.J. Mosley. They need to get some turnovers against this Lions offense, because if the Lions offense gets inside the 20, they get inside the red zone, they're going to start handing it off to Jamal Williams, and without Quinn in there, potentially, that's going to make it a long, long day. So I want this defense to play aggressively. If you have to blitz a little bit more than you normally would, you do it, because you need to create impact plays, keep the Jets offense on the field. Don't let the Lions dictate the time of possession, and don't let them control the clock. Okay, so those are breaking down the matchups. Another couple of key notes I want to point out here. Don't overlook the Lions' return game, okay? Their punt returner is Khalif Raymond. Their kick returner is Justin Jackson. Raymond is averaging 12 yards per punt return. Jackson is averaging 26 yards per kick return. Both of those are second best in the league. So, Braden Mann, okay? I don't want to see any line drive punts. Get me some hang time on those punts, all right? Number 7, I need you to do that this week. Greg Zuerlein, I need you to pound the ball into the end zone. Don't let Jackson return it. And I'll tell you what, no Brandon Eccles for this game, out with a quad injury. He plays a lot of special teams. He's kind of like that second gunner along with Justin Hardy. So when the Lions have a chance to return a kick or a punt, you got to pay attention to that. Okay. As far as the kicking goes, Michael Badgley is their latest kicker. He's 17 of 19 on field goals. He's made all 22 extra points. And another thing is penalties in this game. This might surprise you, but both of these teams are in the top 10 in least penalties taken. I know as Jets fans, we think we're the most penalized team in the league. It's not true. Okay? The Lions have taken 81 penalties. That includes the penalties that were declined. The Jets have taken 82, which is tied for 10th in the league. Okay, so let's see who plays the more disciplined football, because both these teams have been able to do that, and that's a credit to coaches Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh, respectively. Okay, now for the Virginia Jets Fans Club, I got a couple of things I want to talk about here. 1 p.m. this Sunday, AJ Gators, we're doing the White Elephant Gift Exchange. So bring a wrapped gift. We're going to do this at halftime. Couple of things with the rules, okay? Gifts can only be stolen one time. So if you open your gift and somebody else wants it and they steal it from you, that is their gift. It cannot be stolen again. Also, you cannot steal from the person who just stole from you. Okay, so if Tim steals my gift like he did, stole that nice sweatshirt, I remember it was a nice sweatshirt. If he steals that from me and then it's my turn, I cannot steal back from him. All right, so I really hope that a lot of people are going to bring gifts. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Fireball-related merchandise. I'm willing to bet on it. But I'm super excited to do the White Elephant again. And remember, the Jets play this Thursday night against Jacksonville. We will be doing a special raffle for a very cool prize. And I'm going to grab it right here. Here's the Fanatics box. And it's going to be a set of Jets coffee mugs. So we got 2 black ones and 2 white ones. If you win the special raffle, you get all 4 coffee mugs. So come on out, both this Sunday and this Thursday. I can't wait to see you out there. Let's be proud, be loud, show out, go Jets!